Bobby Chacon, retired FBI agent. Let's start with some of the failures that we know about, because that's coming into focus now. And an Associated Press review found several security failures the day of Charlie Kirk's killing. The courtyard of the event was surrounded by several tall buildings, leaving Kirk vulnerable. No drone deployed, only 6 officers on site, no bags checked, no metal detectors. Now let's pause. We'll get to the next thing, which is tonight. But let's just look back for a moment. There was a lot to learn from that, Bobby.
Yeah, Harris, it's unusual. It's almost echoes of Butler, Pennsylvania, right? I mean, how do you have such a high-profile person who has outstanding death threats against him in that kind of environment where the threats can come from so many different places, and yet you don't have a larger security apparatus in place? It really, there's room for questions here.
It's interesting because part of piecing together this case, I would think, both for the investigation and then for what happens inside the courtroom, obviously, you've got to take a look at where maybe the situation was porous, because that's what you're talking about. And the suspected assassin, in this regard, would have to know what about all of that? Or was there just kind of this overall effect, well, it's a college campus, it probably doesn't have these things, it might not be that hard?
Yeah, well, one of the things is that the way Charlie liked to conduct these things is very, very, face-to-face, really in-person contact. The people are right up close to him. And so, he did like to get out among the people, and that always presents that kind of additional danger. But at the same time, there are not, you don't have to have the level of a presidential security, but there could be somewhere in between. You could, put people on rooftops. I mean, rooftops are now what we're seeing more and more used for these type of situations. So maybe, just a few officers on rooftops nearby is enough to kind of stave off, an attempt like that.
Look, let's put that back up on the screen. My team had put it up at the event tonight. So there will be campus police working with local, state, federal partners. And I wanted to compare the past to the present now, because look at the longer list now of things that are being put into place. All attendees must pass through metal detectors, backpacks, larger bags prohibited, security searches of small purses, concealed carry permits for anyone with a firearm, no outside signs, no re-entry. What does that tell you?
Well, I mean, it tells me that they realize that there's still an outstanding threat out there to people in Charlie's movement. They wouldn't be doing this if there wasn't, outstanding threats against Charlie's legacy. And so I think now they're thinking, unfortunately, after the fact, they're thinking we need better protection because there's a lot of pushback, violent pushback on people that are speaking up their minds like Charlie was.
Do you want to see this across campuses across the country? And what we're hoping in Charlie's legacy is that these conversations and these events continue to happen. So is this the new normal in terms of prep?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, that's the unfortunate part. Charlie himself might have not wanted all of this. He wanted that personal interaction. He wanted people to feel like they could come and show up and have these conversations without it being an armed camp. But unfortunately, the way Charlie was murdered kind of dictates how we have to operate going forward.
All right. Bobby Chacon, thank you very much for your expertise and time.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.